You assume that you're not just sitting there like an idiot on the screen for 5 minutes at any other point in time. That is the fallacy of your logic. At any given point, any of the three of us is sitting here like an idiot on the screen for 5 minutes because we're doing a show about movies and just being idiots on the screen.
But why would you bring logic into this?
Because it makes sense, Rat.
I don't have pointy fucking ears. Do I know the Vulcan neck pinch? No. Fuck off.
Well, that's not my fault you don't know the Vulcan neck pinch.
I'm not a fucking Vulcan, okay? Leonard Nimoy took his fucking secrets to the grave, okay? He could have passed them on.
We've had other Vulcans.
Well, yeah, but he taught them. He was the progenitor of the Vulcan race. I mean, without him, we don't have Vulcans.
Wasn't that actually one of the plot lines, though?
I don't remember, like, I don't know. I can't remember how it started. I just know that, like, before Spock, they didn't have Vulcans, and then Leonard Nimoy got cast, and they had Vulcans after that. And everyone that's been a Vulcan after that was probably taught or had some pointers given to them by Leonard Nimoy. Thus, they're not their own Vulcan. They were taught the Vulcan neck pinch and all the other things from him. He was he was the originator.
But are you sure about that?
Well, they're not clones, but,
Well, yeah, I mean. But welcome to the Reservoir Slobs, everyone.
Oh, God damn it. No, I'm not. Why do you... I was just... I don't even know when that started. I have no idea.
Probably around the time Aesop decided that he was going to go off on the rant.
Okay, well, that's
yeah, about halfway through that, yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, enough about Star Trek and Leonard Nimoy, God rest his soul or whatever, but yeah. Hello, everybody.
Yeah, welcome to the show, everyone. Right now in chat, we've got Disky Fringo and Kay Schill.
Oh, hi. So, yeah, like, do we want to just go right into it? Or are we going to talk for a little bit? How are you guys doing?
Let's warm up into it. Because we know what we're going to talk about. That much we've got down. Has anyone seen anything else recently?
Recently? Not really. No, I talked about the few movies I watched outside of watching stuff with you guys. I said that last week. It was like Hidalgo, and I watched something else, but I can't remember what it was now.
You'd watched Hidalgo, and
it was something I don't remember though. Okay. Oh no! I gotta take my glasses off. Oh no! My eyes was watering. I don't know why.
Should have planned this, Rod.
Well, I can't.
You ruined the illusion.
Well, I can't fucking keep my eyes from not watering. I mean, they're gonna do that from time to time. I'm sorry. Oh God, bro, character. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? I've ruined everything.
It's okay. Fortunately, the character was just a slightly better version of yourself.
It's true. So,
Careful now, he might slip into his side quest character.
No, that's not gonna happen. I don't have a top hat. I don't have a hat to wear. So
you need to borrow one. I think I got like 8 laying
around.
around.
No, I don't need to borrow any caps from you ever. You have horrible taste in caps. We've been over this. I'm not going into it on the show. Just,
That's like your opinion, man.
it is my opinion. I didn't say anything about it being right. I just said it was my opinion.
Well, you're clearly wrong.
You can think so.
Like, you're wrong about Hatch. You're wrong about Jake Giles' band.
No, I'm not wrong about Jay Giles' band. Okay, Come On Eileen is just objectively horrible. I'm sorry, it is.
Come
I don't
on,
like
Rod.
it. Why don't we just next time? Why don't you just break out a bunch of songs by the Thompson Twins while you're at it? Go ahead.
I will.
You think he won't, Rat, as you say that?
Well, that means if he goes into down that road, he's going to have to play A Flock of Seagulls, and I'm okay with that.
And I ran.
Yeah,
I
that's
ran
a good song.
so far away. First time I heard that was on an anime opening.
Really?
What?
Yeah, it's in the US they used Flock of Seagulls I Ran as the opening for Zodiac Warriors.
Didn't know that. Okay, cool.
The more I know. Fucking
Oh,
hell.
hey.
Well, also Taka Sanja's joined us. Hey Stanja.
Yeah.
And
So,
casual.
I mentioned Keishel earlier.
You did?
Yes.
I zoned out. Sorry.
Yes, right as part of the opening when we were still driving Rat insane and he was in misery because we opened on him again, even though he knew we were going to cold open on him.
it happens. I just never know when.
Isa was even singing along.
Mhm.
You got the fucking
I'm
clear
just-
signal and everything. Just, okay, incoming.
Didn't see it. It's because I had my glasses on.
Can you see anything?
Yeah.
He wears his sunglasses at night so he can see the light that's right before his eyes.
There's another 80s song you could play. It's still better than Jay Giles' band.
Corey Hart had like one good song.
Yeah, well, it's still better than Jay Giles' band. I'm sorry.
I like 4 J. Giles band songs.
That's what's wrong with you. You're also tone deaf, remember?
Yeah, that just means I can't tell my own tone.
Well,
I
know
also can't tell the
exactly-
difference between tones, but
I know
That's okay.
exactly what we're
at least
opening
not in a
with.
vacuum.
well, not in a vacuum.
I'm gonna open with a Cyndi Lauper song. Just for you, Rad.
No. Okay, we've gone too far now. the Jay Giles band.
Girls just want to have
Yeah, you
fun.
can play all the Jay Giles songs you want to. Just don't play Cyndi Lauper. Sorry. No. Good. Really, I'm really okay with the Jay Giles stuff now. I really am.
we put it in perspective.
Yeah, no.
I crossed the line.
Yeah, you did.
Really, just anything from what was it? The 4th Nightmare on Elm Street soundtrack would do him in.
Ah, yes, the Dream Child.
Yeah, Dream Child.
Yeah.
Oh,
Had a few really good deaths, but the soundtrack was like 80s girls pop.
yeah, it was terrible. That wasn't good. That wasn't very good.
Especially not following the third one,
Yeah.
which had a really good fucking soundtrack.
Yeah, that one was pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shame because, again, the 4th one had some of our favorite kills in it.
Yeah, it did.
No, fifth one.
5th one? I
Yes.
thought it was the 4th one that had the truck.
No, that's the fifth one. That's when Freddy returns.
Wait, do we not remember? Are we going to have to watch them all again now?
No, I remember clearly because it's Dream Warriors, Dream Child,
Yeah.
and then Dream Master?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
I forgot about Dream Warriors.
I haven't forgotten.
The Disney movie attempt at a Freddy Krueger movie.
Now I can't remember which one was which was it? Was that Dream Warriors was the one with the motorcycle?
Nope.
No, Dream Warriors was the one where it's got the kids in the classroom. And then that segues into Dream Child. And then Dream Child segues into the motorcycle scene.
Yeah, the motorcycle was awesome.
Wait, are you sure?
Yeah, because the
yeah.
motorcycle scene is part of the whole truck death scene.
No, I meant the Dream Warriors. That was the one in the asylum.
Yeah, well, classroom. It was the kids.
Yes, I was about to say the classroom. I'm pretty sure that's
Well, they
the
go to
dream
like some
child.
sort of because they've got like all of the kids are permanent residents, so they teach them on site, so they're in like some sort of classroom or study room or something, you know.
Yeah. Sorry, I,
Yeah,
I I think I was just confusing it because of the whole the scenes where that one chick gets killed by Freddy in the classroom.
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, we had a couple of those because what was it? Dream Child had the black girl with asthma that he basically
Yes,
sucked
that's the
face
one.
with.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Anyway, we weren't here
Yeah.
to talk about Freddy today.
No. Today we're
I
going to
wish
talk
we
about
were.
two weird ass movies we watched last night. One that was brought to us by director Arketer,
Thank you,
called.
Ark. That was a fucking great film.
Honestly, it was surprisingly so, since it's sort of an unheard of 91 HBO original.
Yep.
Cast a Deadly Spell, starring Fred Ward and
Julianne Moore was in it.
Julianne Moore. It's also got Clancy Brown and David Warner.
Yep. Yeah, that's pretty good names in it, and and the people did pretty good job on the acting in it.
There was a lot of attention to little details.
Yeah,
The setting for it is 1940s, but after World War II, we brought back magic apparently from Japan. So now everyone is running around casting spells to make their everyday life easier. So, like, there's a scene through the police station, and you're watching people just levitate trays of coffee or just have the files they're after pop up out of the drawer as it opens on its own.
yeah,
There's a vampire hooker.
Yeah.
And the fucking werewolf.
Mm-hmm. I hate full moons.
yeah. Police chief or whatever.
Mm-hmm. But interesting little HBO original that he remembered from his childhood, and we ended up watching.
Yeah, it was weird how we found it. What was he? He remembered that there were zombie construction workers. That was what spawned the finding it.
Yep.
And then the zombie construction worker scene was pretty good.
Yeah, that was another one where they really used the background to set up the world and everything, which is something a lot of newer movies tend to just gloss over.
Yeah.
Yep.
But you have the main character played by Fred Ward, a private eye by the name of H. Philip Lovecraft.
Yeah.
Right there on the nose for this.
Oh yeah.
Showing up to this pre-made home construction field.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bunch of vacant lots where they're gonna build a whole neighborhood, and it's basically a real estate scam in the long term.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he's talking to the lady there who comes out to try to sell him a home. And in the background, you have this entire team of zombies doing construction. But, like, you're watching one sit on a wooden beam while he's sawing on it.
Yeah.
They pick up the beam to move it later, and one of the zombies has an axe sticking out of his back.
And
Yeah.
one falls into cement face first.
And just lays there flailing. There's one on a meat hook just hanging there in the background of all this.
Yeah.
Yep.
There was the scene where the three zombies put the framing of the side of a house up and then turn to walk away, and it starts falling right back over, and part of it just clunks one of the zombies in the head.
Yep.
And they just keep working, even though it was funny.
And
it was really, really good comedy.
It sounds grotesque just explaining it, but it's done so tastefully. But
Yeah.
like, if we explained it, it sounds like a fucking Saw film.
A little bit, but it's done goofily because in the foreground you've got Ward and this lady talking, and they're doing their standard cuts for a conversation.
Yep.
And every so often, you've got the side cut showing them both, and you just got the zombies back there working, and like the ladder one's on just falls over, and he falls into the pile of dirt and lays there.
Yep. All of those different scenes with the zombies just happen in the background as Fred Ward and that woman are conversing. It's just really well done. It's not right in the forefront, but you're supposed to be listening to them, and you end up watching the zombies in the background. It's funny.
And they do that a couple of times. Like there's a panning shot in a club where you've got a guy pouring a bottle of champagne, and he just lets go of the bottle to do something else while the bottle sits there floating and still pours.
Yeah, it has lots of little tricks like that in the movie that they're just cool, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And
they just show up on screen for just a second or two, and then they move on. You know, it's not like they focus on it. So.
And that's a fairly low budget film as well. Like it's
well, for the time, not really. I mean, for an HBO original, it's kind of high budget at $6 million.
Yeah, like that kind of surprised me that a '90s HBO film was $6 million. I was like, really?
Well,
I mean,
with what they got in there,
yeah,
the $6 million definitely shows. Like you get
they used it well.
Yeah, they did.
And again, I brought this up yesterday. The fucking Coolest Eyes film had the same budget.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just think
how much of that was just embezzled? Let's be honest.
No comment. I ain't getting into legal trouble to this.
Yeah. Well, it just like we were just talking about. I was just mentioning that a year later, Reservoir Slobs. I mean, this movie came.
Reservoir
Dogs.
Or Reservoir Dogs. Yeah, sorry. Hang on. I'm getting ahead of myself.
We're not that old, damn it.
But Reservoir Dogs was shot a year after this. Cast a Deadly Spell was in '91 with a budget of $6 million.
Yep.
And Reservoir Dogs, which, you know, kind of inspired some of the whole idea of the show, was a year later, and it was only 1.2 million estimated anyway.
Yeah.
But they didn't spend $6 million, and yet no one, I don't think, I wouldn't even say half as many people know about Cast a Deadly Spell. That's probably even less than that.
It tends to be, from what I found on lists of movies that were good that just no one ever watched.
Yeah.
And it was kind of doomed as an HBO original in that regard.
Yeah.
If anything, this should have been on the big screens. Like, this is actually good enough to deserve to be in a fucking cinema.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could have been. Julianne Moore was in it. I made a joke that they spent half the budget on her hair. It's just...
Yeah, there's like one scene where she's just had a night of passionate sex with Fred Ward, and she's making coffee, and her hair is just fantastic.
Yeah.
Like big, poofy curls.
Yeah.
Glistening, perfectly done hair.
Yeah. There's no way it would have looked like that after a night of...
No,
that.
she basically had sex, slept for 2 hours, then got up to do breakfast and her hair.
Yeah.
And fix his jacket.
Yeah.
And then, like, maybe 5 minutes later, she leaves, but then he calls her in the hotel. She's taking a bath, and her hair is perfect and done in a completely different way.
Yeah, she changed her hair just to have a bath with it.
Yeah.
And then cut to the next scene, and they meet up in the hotel lobby, where her hair is back to the same old.
Yeah. But again, perfectly done.
Yes.
I was like, how much money did they spend on her hairstylist? Seriously.
It's magic.
It was kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, within the context of the movie, probably was magic. But...
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, magic's supposed to be taking care of everything, so it makes sense. But
And another fucking aspect of the movie is the fucking puppets.
oh god, yeah.
Those puppets look like they were bought from Jim Henson, honestly.
Maybe they were really good.
The
Gremlins?
were a little gruff.
They were gruff, but they were like 91. Because I would say they're probably analogous to the Labyrinth's puppets.
I would say more close to like the Critters films.
Yeah,
I've never seen Critters.
Like the puppets were fucking quality.
You haven't seen Critters?
I have never seen Critters.
That should go on the list.
I think it is.
So if it's not, it should be there. Critters is definitely something we should watch sometime then.
same year that this movie came out, another movie came out that was low budget, that looked a lot worse, and that was Puppet Master 2 and 3.
Yeah. Well, what was the budget on those? I was about to say those were kind of low budget, but no, thinking about it, those are
like it was. I think the second one had 600K, and the third one had 200.
Well, yeah, I mean, the second one didn't do that well.
Nope. But
from what I remember, a lot of people consider it the worst in the series, which kind of runs with horror movies.
I don't know. That I need to rewatch some of the later ones because there's like fucking 12 in that series.
Oh yeah, I think we went through and counted one day.
Yeah, well, there's another one coming out this year.
Mm-hmm.
That's a spin-off. It's not even a spin-off of Puppet Master. It's a spin-off of the spin-off? The Retro Puppet Masters? So, it's the timeline is fucked in that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I was gonna say the puppets in Cast a Deadly Spell, like,
yeah,
the gargoyle that has a few different scenes. That was a pretty good. That was pretty good. Although I think that might have been somebody in a suit.
Depends on which scene. The early scenes, it's a puppet.
Yeah.
And then for the final scene and the hilarious scene at the hotel,
yeah,
it's a suit with an animatronic face.
Yeah, it was still pretty good. Honestly, the Gremlins, when he goes to when Fred Ward is interviewing that, trying to find where that guy was like staying, and the guy's working on the truck or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The Gremlins in that scene were hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
That was great.
It was on the level of fucking Gremlins.
Yeah, it was.
It was pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
I that's the thing. Like, I until the other day, I didn't even know this movie existed.
Neither did I.
And going back and seeing it, I'm like, I missed this. I actually feel disappointed that I didn't see it.
Yeah, like, a little.
I really wish I had seen it. It was really good. And it kind of makes me miss that. It makes me wonder how many other things I missed from then that just flew under the radar, never got promoted, and never got seen. I don't even know.
There's quite a few films that is like gems that no one remembers.
Well, let's be fair. We've done one already, and that was Six String Samurai.
Yes.
Where, like, me and Rat were the only two people who had seen the movie, and one of the things that got us talking about this was the fact that both of us had actually seen that movie.
Yeah, I was like, Six String Samurai? That was what, it was. I didn't know anybody else had ever seen it. I knew then when I watched it that it was kind of an underground, weird, like, cult classic kind of thing. Yeah. I knew that way back. So.
Oh yeah, no, that had all the qualities to be a cult classic.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it did.
And same with this one.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this could very well be like.
It's got a surprisingly good cast.
It deserves more recognition than it's got.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
I mean, Fred Ward's good. I like him and stuff. He plays an excellent hard-boiled detective for this.
Yes.
Clancy Brown, though his character technically dies, was a great counterpoint to him as the corrupt former partner.
Yep.
And he was excellent in it. And then you've got David Warner, who's just an iconic voice in general, playing the client, the original client.
Yeah, the other thing is this movie delved into more Lovecraft, like the elder gods, and that there was more Lovecraft references in this than anything I've ever seen. I never really have seen a movie that really goes into it and like uses some of the names like Yog-Sothoth and stuff like that.
Yog-Sothoth.
And it does.
They even mention Hastur.
Yeah. And Cthulhu was mentioned at one point, but I never really have seen a movie that really goes into talking about the names. And I found that interesting.
I mean, fully focused on like names and stuff. Yeah, no, I think this one kind of is on top on that. But
Yeah.
you have like Reanimator or From
Mhm.
Beyond.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, from what I remember of Reanimator, it doesn't really focus too much on the old ones
Not really.
because it was more self-contained, even within the writings for it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because I've got the original books of Herbert West Reanimator.
Yeah.
Fantastic read too.
Nice.
But yeah, that I don't even think in the books Lovecraft even mentions outer forces really.
No.
I don't
No.
think so, no.
And the only part of the movie that I felt was a little bit, honestly, it was kind of, in my opinion, the movie was great, and it kind of went a little lackluster to me, was the ending a little bit.
Yeah.
The ending was not as good as I thought it was going to be, and it was still cool, but I just, because I thought it would be a little better. I don't know, maybe that's just me. But
well, I mean, it was kind of what
but
you would
then again,
expect to a degree, though just not as drawn out as it probably should have been for a climax.
yeah, it felt a little rushed. Although I did like, the end happens, all of the people get their comeuppance, and it's all solved and wrapped up in a nice little bow. And then at the very end of the movie, Fred Ward still has the book. He still has the Necronomicon, and it kind of opens it, I think, to a possible sequel.
Well, there is a sequel.
There
It's
is
called
a
The Witching
sequel.
Hour.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, and that's the thing. There was a sequel to it, which I didn't know about either, and
Yeah,
it kind of makes me want to watch it. I haven't seen Witching Hour. I'd
who-
like to see that too.
Unfortunately, they switch up most of the cast for that one.
Dennis Hopper.
Dennis Hopper takes over as
Really?
Yep.
H. Philip Lovecraft.
Well, that kind of, cast people get recast and stuff, but
Yeah.
it's
I mean,
still
I like
interesting.
Fred Ward, but I think Dennis Hopper can probably do a good job at it.
Mhm.
I don't expect it to be a half-assed or anything when we get around to watching it.
Yeah, I definitely want to see the sequel to it because I kind of want to know how the story goes on. I mean, it's not like anything else I've really seen. Like, I've never seen 1940s America with magic. Magic is just used everywhere. That's just weird. And
it's like the opposite of the Dresden Files, where magic's sort of a secret. No, it's just everywhere. Everyone's got it. Everyone's using it. In fact, Philip Lovecraft, your detective main character, is unique for the fact he refuses to use magic in any way.
Yeah, he refuses to. And that's kind of a recurring thing, is that he doesn't use it.
The one bit he uses, and I think it probably got edited out of the end. I have to go and see what the if there's like a director's cut of it, because I feel like there's a lot missing from the end of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
His landlady, a witch, basically locks a white magic bracelet to his wrist before the end of the movie to protect him.
Yeah.
Like, he's pretty much forced to keep it on him because he can't take it off.
Yeah.
But he references the fact that it was fairly helpful to him when he's talking to her at the end. It's a Chekhov gun. It never made any appearance or reference during the final sequence of the movie.
Yeah, it didn't.
Yeah, like they made it like the scene where where it gets put on him. You'd think that it's going to play a part later, and it doesn't. It never shows up.
Yeah.
Oh my god! I just found a fucking connection to the other film we're gonna get into, which is the fucking rabbit foot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the rabbit foot from that was a Chekhov gun.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Got nothing to do with anything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's part of a little bit of a throwaway gag in that, but I mean, at this point, I think we have touched on everything we really can with Cast a Deadly Spell. Other than it's got some nice tongue-in-cheek referential humor in it too.
Yeah, it's definitely a good watch. You should watch it.
Yeah, again, this is one of those films that, like when the Six String Samurai and Watch Out were mad, and the High Terror of, you should fucking watch this because it's a good fucking watch.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely one to watch with people too.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Then of course that brings us to our second movie, which is another fun that right now, as far as we can say, is definitely a fun one to watch with people, at least the first time. But it's the first in the Jim Varney Ernest movies, technically speaking, with Dr. Otto and the Riddle of the Gloom Beam.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is a very trippy 1985 movie.
Yes. If I had to put that movie into like,
No, I take it back. 1987.
I'm pretty sure you said 85 yesterday, but
No, I'm pretty sure it was 87 because it was 5 years before it hit VHS
Yes.
in 92.
oh, okay, then it was 87 probably then. Okay, but yeah, if I had to sum that movie up very simply, that movie is very surreal. It's very strange. It felt like being on a drug trip pretty much from beginning to end.
Mhm.
It starts out and it goes straight into weirdness right off the bat.
Provided you don't watch the Amazon official cut of it and just go to like YouTube to watch it, there is an opening sequence that you'll see where it's got Jim Varney as Ernest talking to Vern, and he gets pulled into a changing coffin that he traded a pristine 1951 Chevy and some a socket wrench set and some other stuff for a guy just traveling down the road. And he gets pulled into it, and it turns him into Dr. Otto.
Yes.
Who's got a hand growing out of his head, and it's just evil.
Yep. Evil mad scientist, Jim Varney. I didn't expect it, and I thought it was cool. I did.
Yeah,
think it was cool.
When you go into an Ernest movie, if you've seen an Ernest movie, which I'm going to take a leap and assume most people have,
I have not.
Some passing familiarity with it, at least.
Nope. I know what to expect from those films, but I have not seen anything.
Yeah, pretty much everything after this was a little bit more like a kids movie.
Yes, that's what I was expecting.
Yeah,
but this is not that.
Yeah, this is not a kids movie at all. It isn't.
No. Like, most kids wouldn't get the jokes. And then you've got Jim Varney as a mad scientist with a hand growing out of his head with three scantily clad henchwomen.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't expect that. That's kind of where initially I was like, wait, what's going on? This isn't like Ernest. I'm used to a lot more childish, child-oriented stuff with anything involving Jim Varney, and this was not.
I did not even know that this was a part of the Ernest series.
It is only technically considered an Ernest film because of the opening part with him and Vern, and then the scene from the very end of the movie.
The version we watched or started watching did not have that intro. So
no, you just have the very end scene to connect them.
So I was just sitting there up until like the last part, just what, why? And then he shows up as Ernest, just fuck you, movie, fuck you.
And see, and that was weird for me too, having found this on blindly searching through Voodoo's Watch with Ads stuff, and she's like, Ernest falls into a changing coffin and becomes Dr. Otto. It's like, oh, so this is an Ernest movie, but it starts off with Ernest. No, not really.
No.
Like, you've got the scene, but it doesn't really connect.
No.
A lot of things doesn't connect in this film.
No, most doesn't connect.
Yeah.
It goes from, solve this riddle, then into the fucking
the riddle that explains the entire plot of the movie, though.
Yeah.
Because they even point that out. It bullet points one of the gags from the movie is that Dr. Otto goes into the changing coffin and turns into these other evil villains to try to stop Sterling.
Yeah. Yeah. What is it? Lance Sterling, I think is his name.
Sterling, the all-American do-gooder, who is actually just an egotistical little dipshit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which I think was one of the best parts of the movie, honestly.
It was funny.
Violence doesn't solve anything.
Like Doris does all of the thinking for him, pretty much. His female sidekick.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like they're driving down there in the car, and he's trying to work through the role. What has eyes but doesn't see? You think it could be Mr. Potato Head?
Yeah.
She's like, no, I don't think it's Mr. Potato Head. That doesn't make sense. And he's like, so what is it then? I don't know. Well, then it could be Mr. Potato Head.
Yeah, that was funny.
And that comes up later on as well. When they
Yes, it does.
The pirates, because there's pirates too.
Yes.
Well, Jim Varney does go into the changing coffin multiple times and get turned into multiple characters.
Yeah.
Dr. Otto becomes
Jack Hardtack, the
Aussie?
sociably unacceptable Australian mercenary.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then he becomes Captain
I can't remember the
John
characters.
O'Cockney.
Yeah, a pirate, and
Yeah.
he became what was it? One of the Aunt Glenda or whatever.
No, it was started with an N.
I can't remember her name.
It's the classic character he always plays with like the neck brace and the smoker's voice.
Yeah,
and the wig.
Yeah, the old woman.
Yeah,
that was that he turned into that. I can't remember, and then he eventually turned into like some like really high society
Jake Dandy.
Yeah, with the tuxedo and a cane, and the cane fires laser beams for some reason.
Yeah,
which is just I forgot the most important thing in the whole movie: Willie the robot.
Willie the robot, who he needs a whole segment to focus on him. Auntie Nelda, thank you, K-Shul.
Yes, that's it. Auntie Nelda, that's right. Why I kept thinking Glenda, I don't know.
Yeah.
But the robot is hilarious. It's
Willie the robot. His voice activated attack robot he built for the science fair in high school, which we have a whole flashback to, which was fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, because science fair and
it's basically a dude in pretty much what you'd expect of like a robot suit from mid 70s to mid 80s cheap production would wear.
Yeah,
just like a black spandex sparkly suit with bits glued to it, and then for a head it's a bucket, and for the face it's a smiley face sticker that they change out for different facial expressions and styles throughout the movie.
Yes, that's perfect. It's so fucking funny.
Well,
like in the flashback scene, the robot is even wearing boxers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep, boxers.
I don't understand.
I don't either.
Well, look at most of the science fair projects from that scene. Pork Through the Ages, Rocks I've Known.
Yeah, the science fair is terrible. Lance Sterling's science fair experiment isn't even a science fair experiment. It's just
it's voting.
It's voting. It's a voting booth. Why? How does that have anything to do with science? Nothing. There are things like that throughout this movie that just it's one of those don't focus on it too much. Just
don't think
about it. Your brain and just enjoy the ride.
Enjoy it. Yeah, you went into that and you still had your brain on, and by the end of the movie, you were basically in the position you are right now, except you're more holding your face. Like, what have I done to myself?
Yeah, it took you a good 30 minutes to recover at the end of the movie.
Yeah, it did. It was.
Trying to make sense of that bullshit film. God damn it.
I mean, like I said at the end, as a fun ride, I have to give the movie like a 6 to a 7.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you can turn off your brain and enjoy it. I mean, if you really sit down and hard critique the movie, 4, maybe a 5. It's not
Maybe.
terrible, but it's very disjointed.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
And even with the comedy throughout it, it's a lot of really good ideas that aren't necessarily executed to the best, but you can see the charm in them.
Yes.
Yeah, they don't really flow from one to the other. They're kind of abrupt, kind of like non sequiturs, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I called it that at the end. Bunch of non sequitur humor.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's like that.
There's just the weird, like we were really weirded out by the movie right up until the point where they hit the children's daycare training camp.
Yeah.
Yes,
and I think at that point we all realized what sort of movie we were watching.
Yeah, I mean they're just filming like, I would guess like what, 7 to 8-year-old kids running around with bolt action rifles with the bayonets attached, and they're like stabbing them into training dummies and shit, and kids on like water cooled machine guns shooting at targets. It was ridiculous.
And
We're
in
like,
the background, you can also tell that some of the children, no, they're clearly adults.
yeah. Some of them are.
Yeah, they're just in daycare.
And honestly, I think they ran that scene the best because you've got Lance Sterling walking in, looking for a phone booth, nonetheless, to try to call AAA after his car fell into a Saw movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he's just commenting, somebody has been teaching these kids the ground fundamentals. They've done a really good job. And he's like complimenting the kid that's threatening him with a bayonet. It's like, good job, son. Get down in there, legs apart, stance firm, and just shove into it and pull out.
Yeah. It was at that point I realized, okay, I need to turn my brain off, because before that I was like, what is this?
You were trying to do what I did in the entire
film. Yeah, that's where we differed. I got to that scene and went, turn your brain off, and I did. You didn't. That's what happened.
Yeah, I just sat back and enjoyed the ride. It's like, oh, okay.
It was good. It was a good time.
That was also the first time we really see some of the hench women interact. Primarily, Mary Sue, I think, is what the henchwoman was.
I can't remember the names.
Yeah, Tina Goetz plays her. Basically, it's the blonde henchwoman, and she's sitting there filling in every time Captain Hardtack.
No, that
can't
wasn't
remember.
Tina.
No, Tina.
That was the
no, the problem, you had this problem last night. There is the henchwoman named Tina.
Yes.
And then there's the henchwoman played by Tina. The henchwoman played by Tina is the one filling
in. Names.
Yeah, the actress that was the blonde is named Tina.
Yeah. The actress's name is Tina. She's the one that did this scene. The henchwoman named Tina is the one that has a thing for Sterling.
Yeah.
And is a brunette.
The brunette, yeah. We've sent Blackout into a bad place. I'm sorry.
He's trying to remember the movie now. All it is a bunch of colors and a headache.
Yes.
I did have a bad fucking headache the entire movie.
Oh, that really probably didn't help. Yeah. Oh, that's rough.
But all that comes to mind is the fucking robot as the fucking vacuum cleaner.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, that's what sold me on the robot being the best character of that movie.
Yeah, it shot lasers.
I know, but it also had a vacuum cleaner it was using at one point with a French maid outfit on, but the vacuum, the suction hose attached to his ass.
Yep. So it's just going up underneath the skirt, and you're watching him in the background vacuum while all the conversation's happening in the foreground.
Yeah. Oh, it's too good. That was fucking hilarious.
Hey, Orla.
Hey, Orla. Says the movie was D's nuts.
Oh. Yeah, that was... Go ahead.
I can at least give the movie this much. It didn't go for the cheap jokes, which...
No, it didn't.
I'm fucking surprised.
Like, if everything was a bit more connected, I think this would have been a classic comedy film.
Yes.
Just outright.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it wasn't the best connected from scene to scene, or even, like it wasn't following a real logical progression to me. It really wasn't. It did seem very disjointed from scene to scene, and I was just kind of like, I don't know what's going on here.
I thought they were in Australia at one point because
nope, they are in the same set of woods where they wrecked the car for the entire movie.
No, Eric Pug, I actually vacuumed today. Terrible experience. Oh no.
Welcome, Eric Pug. We're sorry you had to experience that.
Yeah, just next time get Willie the Robot, and then you won't have to worry about it yourself. It'll still be a terrible experience, but at least you can laugh at that.
Well, but yeah, the whole time they're in the same woods, ostensibly about 100 feet from the car.
Yeah.
Because you can usually see the same field where they wrecked the car in the background through the trees, like at the cliff and in the woods.
Yeah.
And then when they're with the pirates, it's right at the end when the dump brings them the refrigerator.
Oh.
Yeah, they're still
Which the dump was also played by Jim Varney. But there's a lot of little nice touches.
The name of the dump was Alex. Get it right.
Yeah. Yes. Alex was the dump.
Yes.
I still don't know why it was named Alex. I don't
know.
That's the thing. This movie, there are so many questions that they don't answer. You're just like, why is this?
Honestly, I think it would only have made things worse if they tried to answer them.
Oh yeah, I think that they knew not to, but because if they had tried to answer some of these questions, it would have confused. It would have taken away from it somehow.
Yeah, and it just ties in with the little non-sequitur jokes, like when they're being hoisted in the cage that you mentioned earlier, and she's searching the dead body, and he's like, "What are you doing? That's disgusting." He's like, "I'm seeing if there's anything we can use to escape." He's like, "Well, it certainly didn't help them if they have anything." And she keeps searching around and pulls out a rabbit's foot.
Yeah.
Which is like, well, I guess it didn't help them.
And yet that doesn't come into play at all.
Yep.
Nope. Last time you see it.
Yep, that's the last time you see it. She finds
it. It's only relevant because she doesn't toss it away. She pockets it. You watch her do that.
Yep. Oh, that was the other thing too with the henchwomen. The character Tina, who was played by, I can't remember her name. Was it Emma or something? I don't remember. The brunette.
Yeah.
The brunette actually did a really good. I thought she was really good. Yes. I thought she did a good job with their part. Like when she's being held over a cliff, strapped to a door that's slowly falling, a door frame that's falling over the cliff, and there are chickens pecking at the rope that's holding it. And
weirdest death mechanic I have ever seen, but
and Jigsaw had a fucking blast.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, like, Lance is like, we need to save her, and he goes trying to run and climb the cliff, and is it Donna?
Yep.
The sidekick. She's like, there's got to be an easier way, and she runs off to go around and find a different way to get up that's easier, and he's like, oh, always thinking about yourself, and he's like, she's just not thinking, and he just struggles and climbs the side of this, and even finds a grappling hook on a dead body at one point and throws it, and he hooks it, but it's attached to the door frame. So as he's climbing, he's actually putting her in even more danger.
Oh.
And she's up there strapped to this chair, just going
door,
but she's up there just having this existential crisis about her life.
Well, this is how I'm gonna die. Tina White from Nebraska.
Yeah, or from White Falls. That's what it was. And she was like, I just wanted to be a nurse.
I should have listened to my mother. That's why I'm here. I didn't listen to her. I should have become a nurse.
It's funny shit like that. And then there's scenes between her having that and screaming, Lance climbing, Donna running up the hill, the easier path, and there's just chickens pecking at a rope.
Mm-hmm.
And it just keeps fraying slowly more and more. And then they all end up getting up there. Donna ends up saving it by grabbing because the rope breaks.
See, that's the best part of that. Lance beats her up there, actually.
Yeah,
by almost a good 20 seconds, but he has to stop and monologue about how women are perfectly suited for being nurses.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's cleaning himself off and dusting himself and adjusting his shirt, and he's not even trying to stop the door frame from falling. And it's because Donna gets there and grabs the rope as it breaks, and she holds it that Donna ends up saved, or that Tina ends up saved. And it's like, Lance, he's an idiot. He's a complete idiot.
And then follow that up with him ringing the doorbell and then opening. And her going, "Oh, you saved me."
Yeah.
As she's
Donna does not get any respect in that film.
No respect, no credit.
Yeah, nothing. Just Lance takes all the credit and it kind of acts like, oh, you're just thinking about yourself all the time. No, she's not. She's actually has the brains. You're just that.
I love when he finally breaks down when they're at the bottom of the elevator shaft.
Yeah.
And just just having his whole little meltdown about how she's more competent. He should have listened to her, and she slaps him to get him back to his senses. And he goes, "You hit me. I'm having a personal meltdown, and you hit me.
Violence doesn't solve anything.
I can't believe you."
It snapped him out of it because he went right back to being the blithering idiot that he was. But it was just ridiculous. Oh,
there were a couple of really funny scenes that it's just cutaways to like the fucking I don't remember what position he had, but it was in some kind of company where the stocks fell.
The global bank manager or whatever.
Yeah, just sitting there with a gun, just
yeah.
Yeah, because the other guy comes in and we may have a solution, and the guy just talks with a gun in his mouth. Just, it's hilarious.
And then he takes it out and he keeps muffling himself.
Yeah, even though he takes the gun out, it was like, that's so dumb, but it was funny. God, it was funny.
I wish they'd played more out on that scene too, because they come up with this whole plan to fix everything by just hiring Dr. Otto to work for them. Because the whole crux of their solution is he's only a problem because he doesn't work for us. So if we could just make him a bank, if we could just get him on the board of the bank.
Yeah. It was funny, and it just got more and more ridiculous as time went by. I did like the end where where Lance is having the crisis and he's having like the flashbacks of my parents going, "We're counting on you," and this is what all of my training and all of my preparation has brought me to. And he has to press a button. There's two buttons in front of him, the right button and the wrong button.
My sense of style, my taste in design and color choices. And
and then he basically ends up playing Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo to decide which one it's.
I loved that scene. That was one of the best comic moments in the movie, in my opinion, because he's going 1 potato, 2 potato.
And that's it,
and the computer says 3 potato in the middle of her countdown to the place self-destructing.
Yeah, that was fucking hilarious. That was great. That was too funny.
Another scene that just so fucking dumb. The Christmas scene.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh.
I don't even want to spoil that one. Watch it.
Yeah, watch the movie. Yeah.
It was asked at one point why they didn't just get children actors to play the roles of the young Dr. Otto and the young Lance Sterling. I think having the adult characters play those roles is perfect for this movie, though.
It is. I think it is.
I think it just sells it to a point you couldn't get actually hiring age-appropriate actors for those roles. Because everyone else is appropriate. It's just the two of them. Like at the science fair, you got the full-grown Dr. Otto, and he's being insulted by the weenie kid.
The other thing with Dr. Otto that still gets me is just Dr. Otto has a hand growing out the top of his head. Basically, it looks like this. And Jim Varney's playing this. And during the scenes, someone clearly is just behind him with their hand over his head.
Yes.
But he's talking and having all these things and talking, and this hand is just occasionally like tapping his forehead or stretching his eyebrows. And just, it's just so weird. It was too good. I couldn't.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny.
Overall, it's kind of a mess, but it's a kind of a mess that works.
Yeah. Yeah. And the movie is. Yes, it is. It is very. Wow, a funny shit show, and I just thought of ourselves, and I'm like, great. Which one of us is Dr. Otto at this point? You know, and I'm sorry, but I'm not playing.
Best we will destroy the world's money.
Yeah, but no, the Dr. Otto and the Riddle of the Gloom Beam is. If you want to just watch something and turn your brain off and just laugh at something that's really goofy and strange.
Yep. That
doesn't make a whole lot of sense, yeah, give it a watch.
Watch it with friends as well.
Yeah, with friends, it's funnier. I think by ourselves, if we'd watched that, I'd have just gone, "What the fuck was this?"
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You know.
But also, try to find someone who does not know much about Ernest.
Yeah.
Because that's gonna be like, just what even is this?
Mm-hmm.
It's currently available on Vudu and Amazon Prime with commercials.
Yeah.
Though, personally, I would recommend the YouTube version you can find because it's got the full opening.
The music was kind of cool in it too. Like,
yes,
I actually got a kick out of the music. It was really
sort
different
of
stuff.
80s synth wavy.
Yeah, kind of, but it was cool. I actually thought that was
except
really
for
neat.
The opening theme, which was
yeah,
almost an homage to some of your classic Bond openers. Except it's what did they call it?
What was it? I can't remember what it was.
Festering Love, I think, is what it's called.
Yeah,
it's this chick singing about how their love will fester like an open wound, and it's done in that slow lilting style, like the opening to Octopussy or You Only Live Twice.
Yeah, it's very much like a Bond theme song opening kind of thing, but then the female singer just goes away, and it's Jim Varney singing it, and it's like, what is going on? That I should have known right there that this movie was just going to be strange, but it didn't register till like 20 minutes after that when they're at the military daycare training camp. That's when it finally dawned on me. Shut your brain off. Stop trying to figure it out.
Yep.
It was a good time. It definitely is better with friends. One's definitely better with friends.
And I think that brings us to the end of the show.
Yeah.
And
did we follow some sort of a format without actually trying to?
No, we were all over the place, just like the last movie.
No, I think we were pretty on point. We spent the first half on one movie, we spent the second half on another movie, and we had time to wrap up. There's still time to wrap up. How did this happen? Especially with me involved. That's what I'm trying to get.
Yes.
I'm going with sheer
It's
luck.
almost like we've done this enough to actually start falling into it in, rudimentarily through some sort of muscle memory or something.
Maybe.
Almost. So,
maybe.
Again, we'll be back next week, same time, I think.
Should be.
Yeah. And,
same channel, too?
Same slob time, same slob channel.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
And, of course...
We need that weird, fluttery transition music from the Batman show now. That, we need that now. Yeah, no, we do not need that. That's horrible. That's a horrible idea.
All right.
It's going to be the three of us running, and then Rat falls over because he has no ankle cartilage.
There's no running involved where I'm concerned. It ain't happening. You guys can run. Somebody, let me borrow a Segway, and I'll just be on that, fall off that thing because my ankles are fucked up. It's like, we'll do that. That'll work. Fucking put me in a wheelchair.
We'll eventually get to the final cutaway of the episode, and it's us standing there as the ambulance pulls up to take him away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
this was-
links in the description. You know where to find us.
Yep.
Right
if you're looking for
on
something else to watch.
SideQuest.
Oh yeah, I'm on SideQuest, but we're on a break, so I don't really have to worry about SideQuest for at least a couple weeks.
Fair enough. And
No.
Yep.
Aesop.
You can also catch us over on Director Arciter's streams.
Dr. Arctur.
Dr.
Yes.
Arciter.
No. Oh no. We're gonna have to
Um,
get him. We're gonna have to get him a fake hand he can glue to his head.
Oh,
Yes, we should.
I don't think he'll go for it, but it's a
No, I think he was the most perturbed by that movie.
yeah, he was definitely not that impressed with it. So
But you can catch us over there regularly every Thursday for SCP streams and Saturdays for open mic article waits.
yeah, yep.
And Blackout occasionally does his own stuff with Diddy, which
over on
you'll also
Twitch.
probably catch us on.
Yeah, I've occasionally shown up when I wake up somehow.
Yep. And of course, we're queuing in for the stress test, which is starting about now. So we'll see you all later. Anyone has a short joke to fucking throw? No one's done that today.
Nah, we're already trying to stretch a little bit to fill time.
Yeah, we don't really want to hit the short jokes. No.
Ladies and gentlemen, meine Damen und Herren.
Too little time.
Yeah, there's not enough time to fit it in.
Mr. Takeo Ishii.
Later.
We'll see ya.
Auf Bäume aufgegangen.